Right now, as you sit here, something is flying through the darkness, farther from home than anything humanity has ever built. A small, lonely machine, launched before most people alive today were even born. It has passed the giant planets, crossed the edge of everything the sun can touch, and sailed out into the space between the stars. It is still going. And here is the strangest part of all. Long after you and I and everyone we know is gone, it will still be out there, flying. The story begins in the year 1977. On a pillar of fire, a spacecraft no larger than a small car rose up from the Earth and disappeared into the sky. Its name was Voyager. Its mission seemed almost impossible, to journey out to the great planets of the outer solar system, worlds no eyes had ever truly seen up close. No one knew how long it would last, but it would go on to travel farther than its makers ever dared to dream. It set out on what came to be called a grand tour. Once in a great while, the giant outer planets line up in just the right way, allowing a single traveler to leap from one to the next, borrowed speed flinging it ever onward. It was a chance that would not come again for nearly 200 years. And this tiny craft, built by human hands, was going to take it. One small machine against the vast outer darkness. Its first destination was a giant. A colossal striped world, so large that every other planet could fit inside it, wrapped in endless bands of swirling cloud. As the traveler swept past, it saw storms wider than entire worlds, raging for centuries. Encircling this giant, it discovered strange moons, one of them alive with erupting volcanoes, throwing plumes high into space. For the first time, these distant worlds became real, no longer points of light, but places. Next came a world of unimaginable beauty. A great globe encircled by shining rings, stretching out in delicate, glittering bands. Up close, the traveler saw that those rings were made of countless pieces of ice and rock, dancing together in silent, perfect order. It was a sight no one had ever witnessed with such clarity. The little machine had reached the jewel of the solar system. But this was where its planned journey came to an end, and a new one, unplanned, began. After that final encounter, there were no more worlds ahead. The path bent the traveler upward, away from the flat plane where the planets circle, and out toward the empty frontier. Its main mission was complete. It had seen the giants. It had sent home their secrets. By all rights, its story could have ended there, but it kept flying. Out and out into a darkness that has no end. And it did not travel empty-handed. Bolted to its side, the little craft carries a message, a golden disc sealed to survive for 1 billion years, holding sounds and greetings from our world, voices speaking in dozens of languages, and images of the planet it came from. It is a message in a bottle, cast into a cosmic ocean. A quiet hello from Earth to whoever or whatever might one day find it. Then, one day, as it sailed billions of miles from home, the little traveler was turned around. For one last time, it pointed its camera back the way it had come, and it took a photograph. In that image, almost lost in the glare of the distant sun, there is a single, tiny point of light. Not a star, a dot. A pale, pale blue dot. That dot is the Earth. Everything you have ever known is on that dot. Every ocean and mountain, every city that has ever stood, everyone who has ever lived, every joy and sorrow of all of human history, all of it on that single speck, suspended in a sunbeam, in the middle of an endless dark. Seen from out there, our entire world is smaller than a grain of dust. And the little machine that showed us this just kept on flying. Now the traveler moved through a place of almost total emptiness. Behind it, the planets shrank into faint stars, Ahead, there was only the deep and the distant, unblinking lights of other suns. Out here, there is no up, no down, no day, no night, just the cold and the silence and the endless fall through the dark. And yet, faithfully, it kept sending its faint signal home, a whisper growing fainter with every passing year. For decades it flew, until at last it approached a mysterious boundary. Our sun does not simply sit in space. It breathes out a constant wind of particles, blowing a vast, invisible bubble around all of its planets. This bubble is the true edge of our solar system, the very last shore of the sun's domain. And the little traveler was about to become the first thing from Earth ever to cross it, to step beyond, into interstellar space. In the year 2012, it happened. Silently, without ceremony, the spacecraft slipped across that final boundary. For the first time in all of history, an object built by human hands left the bubble of our sun and entered the space between the stars. No one had ever been there. Not a probe, not a person. Nothing of ours had ever gone so far, and still, it flew on. It is impossible to truly picture how alone it is out there. So far away that its faint radio signal, traveling at the speed of light, now takes almost a full day just to reach us. Around it, in every direction, is emptiness so vast that the nearest star is still tens of thousands of years away. It is the loneliest traveler in existence. A single, tiny light of human making, adrift in an ocean with no shore. But the little machine is growing old. Deep inside it, a small source of power has kept it warm and alive for decades, and slowly, that power is fading. One by one, its instruments are being switched off to save the last of its strength. Its voice grows weaker with every year that passes. The traveler that showed us the giants and pictured our world as a speck of dust is quietly running out of breath. Soon, perhaps within just a few years, the last instrument will fall silent. The final, faint signal will fade away into the noise of the cosmos. And from that moment on, we will hear from it no more. But make no mistake, it will not stop. It will not slow. It will simply keep flying, cold and dark and silent, carrying our message onward forever. So where is it going? The honest answer is almost nowhere and everywhere. It is not aimed at any particular star. It is simply falling through the galaxy. In around 40,000 years, it will drift quietly past the neighborhood of another distant sun. And then it will move on, wandering the galaxy for an amount of time the human mind can barely hold. Think about what that truly means. Long after our cities have crumbled to dust, long after the last of humanity is gone, perhaps even long after the sun itself has died and the earth is no more, this small, lonely machine will still be out there, drifting between the stars, silent, frozen, perfectly preserved, carrying the memory of a world that may no longer exist. And so it becomes something more than a spacecraft. It becomes a monument, our farthest reach, the single most distant mark that humanity has ever made upon the universe. A fragile, golden record, holding the sound of our voices in the image of our home, drifting on through the endless night, on the tiny chance that, someday, in some unimaginable future, someone might find it and know that we were here. So tonight, when you look up at the stars, remember, out there, beyond everything you can see, a little machine from Earth is still flying. It carries no crew, and it feels no fear. It simply travels on into the dark, exactly as it was built to do. It is our farthest voice, our loneliest explorer, a quiet ambassador sailing the cosmic ocean, long after the hands that made it have turned to dust, reaching outward forever on behalf of us